evening, everybody, and thank you very much for being here. My name is Bishop Douglas Crosby, and I am the Bishop of Hamilton in Ontario and the co-treasurer of the Canadian Conference of Catholic Bishops. And we are meeting in Plenary Assembly, as you know, here in Mont-Gabriel and in Sainte-Adèle, Quebec. It's an annual event, and really the plenary is the event of the conference, because the life of the conference flows from the plenary, so following the meetings we're going to be doing a lot of the follow-up, and then as the summer rolls in, we start preparing for the plenary. So the plenary is the major work of the conference. Archbishop Richard Smith, who is the Archbishop of Edmonton, is the current president of the conference, and this morning the plenary, as the plenary began, he greeted everybody and began the work of the plenary, if you want. There are a number of observers here, as you know, from various organizations, and he introduced them and welcomed them, and from Catholic organizations, I should say. And he also welcomed, in particular, Bishop Mina, who is the bishop of the Coptic Orthodox Church in Egypt. And, here in Canada, Mississauga and Vancouver, but the Coptic Church is basically the church from Egypt. And he was explaining the suffering of this church, presented to the conference in a very graphic way, and showed pictures of the suffering of the church, and called for the prayers of the Canadian church at that time, and that was offered very generously by Archbishop Smith. Archbishop Smith himself presented the overview of the life of the conference in the past year. Really, the major event that he pointed out was the departure of Pope Benedict and the election of Pope Francis, and the power of that event in the life of the entire church, and how it has moved people very much in our own country. And Archbishop Smith was there in the square, he said, at the time of the election of Pope Francis. And he recalled the call of the new pope to go to the periphery, and he said, "This is really what we're going to try to do at this plenary, to look at the periphery, those who are in a way far away and who need the attention of the church, and for whom we need to reach out and to offer our care." And so in the afternoon, one of those areas was the area of family life in Canada. And this afternoon we listened to 4 directors of family, pastoral for family, and in the Diocese of Quebec and Montreal, Toronto, and London, Ontario. And they laid before us the challenges of marriage and family life in our time, youth ministry in our time, and the kinds of programs and things that we might be doing to reach out and to support and to give hope to families. Finally, we have just come from the last session of the afternoon, when the nuncio, who regularly visits on the first day of the plenary. It's a little tradition that we have at the Canadian Conference. And the nuncio, Archbishop Pedro Lopez Quintana, has been recalled to Rome by the Holy Father, and so he was giving his farewell address to us, and now there is a reception, and there'll be a dinner in his honor, at which a gift will be given from the conference as an expression of gratitude. So there we are. That was the day. It was these days are almost standard. The first day is almost standard. It's an opening, and so now we are well underway. if there are questions, I'd be happy to respond, at least to try.
Bishop, thank you very much. I'm just wondering, is there any news as yet on what's going to happen next with the Apostolicnunciature here in Canada? Is the term officially over today, or what's the status of that?
No, my understanding is that Archbishop Quintana will be leaving on the 28th, so in a week or so, and that Monsignor Bravi will be the responsible person ad interim, and he is presently the counselor, the assistant to the nuncio, and that at some point in the, I would expect near future, another Archbishop will be appointed to serve as Apostolic Nuncio here in Canada. It would be a matter of time, and I wouldn't have any idea what to expect in terms of time, but I don't expect it will be a long absence.
The second question for you, as you mentioned, we heard the very powerful testimony of the Coptic Orthodox Bishop Mina, who gave the testimony about the experience of the Christians in Egypt. And I'm just wondering, as of right now, is there any plan for a discussion or follow-up during this particular plenary assembly on the question of the situation of those Christians in Egypt, or any kind of ecumenical efforts in addressing the situation in some way?
There's nothing established right now, but let me tell you this. The conference has been very attentive to what is going on in the Middle East. Every year for the past many years now, the president of the conference travels with a group of representatives to the Middle East just to see what's happening and to be attentive to it, to learn and to support the Christian community there. And this year, the summertime, we had a particular concern and expressed support for Syria. As you know, the Pope called for prayer on September 7th and had a wonderful prayer service in St. Peter's Square for Syria and for peace in the Middle East. And we ourselves had called for that same kind of prayer, a prayer and fasting, and on the 14th of September, the feast of the exaltation of the Holy Cross. And we also have throughout the country and in parishes throughout the country taken up a special collection through the summer, which will be offered to assist programs in Syria. So there's been a great sensitivity to what's going on in the Middle East, and this was new, helping us to broaden our understanding.
Thank you very much, Bishop Crosby. You spoke of the importance and the role of a plenary assembly like this on the life of the Episcopal Conference. I was wondering if you could just share with us maybe what the importance or the impact of an event like this is on your own life as a bishop, on the life of your brother bishops, a time of fraternity like this, a time to come together, to discuss, to be with one another. What sort of impact does this have on you as you go back and fulfill your episcopal ministry?
That's a very good question. Thank you very much. It's wonderful to come together. When we do our work as bishops, usually we are in our dioceses and we work with the priests of the diocese, and we don't have many occasions to meet the other bishops across the country. So it's a wonderful gathering. The first day is always a wonderful gathering when you meet bishops that this is my 16th year now. So to come back and to meet bishops who I've been gathering with for that number of years, and to know that bishops who have had an important impact on my life aren't here anymore. Some have retired and gone on, and some have returned to God. And it is also wonderful to meet the new bishops who are coming along, and to know that you're no longer one of the young guys. You're an older bishop in the crowd, and that's one of the blessings. The other is the discussion that takes place. To hear. So we come and we learn. It was a wonderful gathering this afternoon to hear from lay people who are really totally committed to the life of the church, working in the church and for the church, and really concerned about the family. So, you know, I know that in the Diocese of Hamilton we have a wonderful office for family, and we're going to be, in fact, the Diocese of Hamilton are going to be producing material for the family week that we are promoting in May, that the conference promotes in May. We're going to be supporting the conference in that way. And so we learn and we participate and we share and I will go home from this meeting with ideas, with documents, and pass them out to our offices so that they can use them in their own ministry, be informed, and be encouraged in their ministry. So the bishops come, they're informed, they're encouraged, they come together and celebrate and enjoy one another's presence, and it's a great gathering, actually. And it gives us a lot of energy for the rest of the year. Okay. Good. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow.